Hey Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. Today we are taking a look at the NECA Mirage Comics Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Casey Jones. As seen in the original run of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comics. If you haven't read them, I strongly suggest that you do. They are some of the first 40 or so issues of that, however long that initial run was, are some of the greatest comics ever written, in my opinion. Or some of the most fun, engaging comics ever written. How about that? Great packaging. I love just all the design of this. I've been over it before. On the back, you've got pictures of the figure. In front of the NECA City diorama, you've got the cross-cell with Fugitoid, Renee, and an Utrom. And then on the bottom, credits for the people responsible for bringing this piece of art to life. I love that. Casey is, of course, one of the Turtles' closest longtime companions and a must-have for the line. And was a little more of a psychopath in the comic initially than he was later on in other media. You know, it's funny, the craziest version of Casey, though, is probably the one in the cartoon. I am not a huge cartoon fan, the original cartoon. I'm just never, even when I was younger, was not a big fan because I started on the comics and the toys, and the cartoon was just not my favorite. I watched it, don't get me wrong, but it just didn't live up to the rest of the franchise, in my opinion. Comics, cartoons just changed in the late 80s from what I had grown up with as a younger kid. Okay, I can tell getting these joints to move is potentially going to be fun. So I'm going to save that for just a minute. Let's get all these plastic tabs out of the way. And we've got really the standard Casey Jones loadout of accessories. There's nothing unexpected in here whatsoever that we haven't seen before in other lines. But that's okay because, to be honest, I think it shows the strength of the Casey Jones character in its simplicity. He's a lower tech, lower stakes Punisher. He's a pretty simple character with some. He's a great gimmick, right? Like the sports guy using what he has to fight crime. Like, it's pretty basic, but at the same time, it's pretty essential to who he is. Like, as much as I like Stephen Amell, turning Casey Jones into a cop was just dumb. Casey's just a guy using his gear to fight crime, and that's all he ever needs to be. He was perfect from conception. Okay, so let's very carefully mess around with these joints. You've got the neck. What is on top of his head here? He's got some kind of... There's some white that I am hoping will wipe off. Even though the neck is a simple double barbell, I'm just moving the arms up so I can get the head off and we can take a look at that neck joint. Wow, that head. There we go. So it's a simple double barbell, but the way it's designed, it does have a pretty good range on it. I'm really bothered by it. I don't know if you can see it too well. There's some white color up here. I really don't want to have to return this guy because I bought him a while ago and am just now getting around to reviewing. I've had it. I think part of it is because it took me a while to really decide I had to get into this line. front elbow joint doesn't want to bend. He almost has the feel of an older NECA figure in that some of the joints are a little scary. I'm a little worried moving them. I'm going to heat that shoulder up before I move that any further back. There we go. Okay, so the waist did move. I want to get those abs lined up front facing. He has got... So that is not any kind of rocker or ball joint. It feels like that's just... So up here, there's a little bit of a ball joint, but the waist, I think, is just a swivel. The hips are the hips we expect from NECA with the soft plastic covering to cover up the joints. Double jointed knees that seem to work pretty well. It's interesting. I say this feels like an old NECA figure, and that's really true. In the way that some of the joints are slightly stuck and feel a little scary to move. There we go. All right, got that bottom knee joint going. And then, okay, good. So, I was concerned that there would be a swivel. Excuse me, that there would be a swivel here at the top of the sneaker. And that would create a weakness that would make that ankle joint hard to manipulate. But, oh, there is a swivel. It's just pretty sturdy. Okay. So it feels like the peg here is very thick. He's got some kind of pretty sweet brown Reeboks going on here. I never paid that much attention to Casey Jones' footwear in the original comics. I mean, we know he's got those, what are they, like aqua versions of this on the original figure? Something along those lines. So yeah, articulation design-wise is great. Execution-wise, it's pretty good. Like I said, I'm a little scared of some of these joints, but they can be loosened up and they'll be fine. Just be very, very careful with a figure. You know, he's much more slender. If you want to see a comparison, let me grab a turtle here. You know, those turtles are thick boys. Those joints are not messing around. But Casey is a little more petite than his turtle pals. So when you're messing with those joints, you got to be a little more careful. All right, so we've got the hockey mask head that has whatever is going on with the hair at the top. But thing is, it looks fantastic. Like look at the little detailed hairs right here. All the sculpt there, the brown, you can see the strap of the mask in the back in the middle. It looks great. The white in the eyes is fantastic. It's a pure white, unlike the mask, which is a little grayish. And then he has an unmasked head, which looks exactly... He's not a pretty fella. He's got that angry look, that disenfranchised guy who wants to hit criminals with hockey sticks. This is that guy, and look at that hockey hair. That mullet is glorious. You've got the loose hockey mask, which is a completely soft plastic, which is kind of funny. I can hold that. You've got alternate hands. The default hands are fists for punching. And then you've got C-grips of varying sizes to interact with his different accessories. This one for the golf club, and these for the bats and hockey stick and whatever else. Got two bats that are actually... Are they different? Yes, they are. They are different sculpts. Well, I thought they were. Hang on. No, they're not. They're not. They're identical, which is fine. Doesn't bother me at all. But it would not have surprised me if NECA had done different sculpts for those bats. So yeah, two bats, the same. Hockey stick, looks amazing. Just the wrapping, everything on these is just, it all just screams comic booky, which is exactly what I want. Even the shape, look at the shape of this, how squared everything is. And then finally the golf club with the nice white head that in this instance is, you know, it's kind of reminiscent of how something metallic might look in comics, the same way that they did the Wanderer's sword here. And same thing, just look at the sculpt on that grip. Excellent. And then he's got his golf bag, his little square golf bag that we will put right across him here. Oh, fits perfectly. Look at that. The strap is, the golf bag is a soft plastic, and the strap is part of this sculpt rather than being something glued on. So I'm not super worried about it popping off. I'd still be careful, but it should be less of a concern than it otherwise would be. The problem is going to be getting that head back on. It might actually be better to just put that over the head. There we go. Yeah, I think that's going to be easier. Oh, careful. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Yeah, better that than to chance your hand slipping and ripping that bag right off of his body. Oh man, he's great. Except for this white up here. I really hope that comes off. Okay, so I am going to put the golf club and the baseball bats in his bag for storage. We're going to swap out both of those hands and give him C grips. So he can hold that hockey stick. Like the crazed maniac he is. So there he is, Casey Jones, the Mirage Comics version. Available, I've seen him in Targets a few times now, so just keep an eye out. These figures, it's interesting. Even the ones that I see, like, you know, oh wow, they've got a bunch of the battle damage Shredder. That guy's not going anywhere. But then I go back to that same Target, you know, a week later or something, and they're gone. So somebody is buying these. Somebody appreciates that these are coming out. And I'm one of those somebodies, although I'm just buying one of each because, my gosh, they're a little pricey. So there he is, your maniac on the streets, Casey Jones, ready for action. You know what? Let's do that. I like that a little better. Thanks for watching, you guys. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about Needless Things, and come back for all your vigilante review needs.
Smash that like button if you like Needless Things.